Well, well, we're here. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Counselor's Corner. And tonight, I'm going to bring you a special episode. It's actually be a four-part series called Surviving Your Man's Zodiac Sign. So basically, with that, I guess I just wanted to look at that aspect. A lot of times when we look at relationships, we look at, the biological aspects, um, culturally, different experiences, family tradition. But how many times do we actually focus on actual signs, zodiac signs? And I'm I'm not saying that some people may believe that this stuff is superstitious or whatever the case is, but I think this: if you're not married and you're still like into the dating aspect, then any extra information on anyone cannot, it only can help, it can't hurt. So we're gonna take a look at that. Thanks, Wanda, for joining me in the Counselor's Corner. Anitra, thanks for joining. Sonia, Pooh, thanks for Christina, thanks for joining me in the Counselor's Corner. But the introduction to this show is basically surviving your man's zodiac sign. A four-part series coming to you live in the Counselor's Corner, based off. Let me grab the book. It's based off this book, a sensual. I don't know if you can see it. A Sensual Astrology for the African American woman. Everything you need to know about your man is Sun Sign by S.R. Covington. So I'm going to take a look at that, kind of break it down. Of course, I'm not going to give you every little detail that I read, but stuff that I thought was important. So we're going to look at that. So we're going to be discussing his signs, characteristics, dating, sexual tendencies, and even when you have to break up with those individuals, how does that work? The first episode, we're going to look at Capricorns, Aquariuses, and my sign, the best sign of them all, Gemini. So as far as the other future part 2, 3, and 4, those will be in the next few days. I haven't came up with the time. I guess I should run this thing like Surviving R. Kelly, just keep it going, keep it flowing, keep sharing it and keep sharing it. But this is going to be a fort. We're going to look at each sign, and each day it's going to be three different zodiac signs. So I'm kind of amped up today. Anybody know me? Pay-per-view boxing is on tonight. Manny Pacquiao against Adrian Bronner. Big fight for both of them. Well, Pacquiao is 40 years old, so, his days is coming to an end, but he's still trying to get nice little payday, keep that money going, partly because he's probably giving it all away to his country members, citizens there. And hey, man, I think, like Bronner said, Mayweather said, sometimes you got to be a little selfish, and I think he's being too generous, which is leading him to keep fighting because he got to probably maintain a certain lifestyle. But I think for this fight, he's supposed to get 10 million plus a share of the pay-per-view proceeds. Adrian Bronner, he's like 29. Was supposed to be the next coming of Floyd Mayweather. Had a couple setbacks, and he's scheduled to make 2.5 million, which is a lot of money to us everyday folks. But when you think of Money Mayweather, when he fought Pacquiao, I think he might have off the gate might have got like 100, million, and then Pacquiao like 75, and then once they got pay-per-view proceeds, I think it took Floyd over to like 225 million for that fight, and Pacquiao made like 150. So of course this fight isn't at that magnitude, but it's a kind of like win or lose, like do or die situation for both fighters if they want to be relevant. So I'm definitely amped up for that. Hello, Marcia. Thanks for joining me in the Counselor's Corner. Chantrell, thanks for joining. Frederick, thanks for joining me in the Counselor's Corner. So we're going to get ready to dive in on this topic. And the first sign we're going to look at is we're going to look at Capricorns. And you know, that's this season right now. I guess it's probably getting ready to end soon, but Capricorns. And I know they're having a big bash in Niagara Falls today for the Capricorns. So I'm going to give a shout out to Rico Johnson, homeboy from back in the days. Happy birthday, happy 50th. Thank Evelyn, happy birthday to you as well. Be safe out there. I know it snowed up something, but be safe out on those roads. And yeah, I know the rest. So, Capricorns. And this is, ladies, this is the characteristics that I'm gonna discuss about these different signs. So with Capricorns, they say they're no nonsense type of guy. Takes financial security seriously. Secure him to stay to join me in council. So they take financial security seriously. So that's big for them. You know, they like finances. They like to be, you know, working a job that they're gonna, because everything is about their security. Also, he hates, you know, they hate like flashy individuals. They're more like less is more, basic stuff. They don't see the point of spending your money on frivolous stuff or trending stuff because everybody else, you know, is rocking that or driving a certain vehicle. They rather, you know, they rather probably put their money in the bank, and that means more to them to be financially secure, and you know, maybe invest in real estate and stocks and bonds and different things like that. Tommy Evans, thanks for joining me. Martha, thanks for joining me. And Andre, what's going on, Dre? Thanks for joining me in the Counselor's Corner. What else? Basically, he likes to live well and won't mind working hard to get there. So this is going to be a hard-working brother that believes in working hard, doing the right thing, and doesn't mind, you know, if they have to work overtime or whatever they need to do, because their life is about financial security. He believes if things worth having are those worth working hard for. So, and I think that's even in relationship wise. They don't like stuff to come easy. They believe in working hard for it. He likes his clothing to be classic and of highest quality. So that brother's going to be, you know, he's going to be dressing snazzy. He's going to be classic, but you may not see him, like I said, he won't be wearing that trend, like a trendy type of outfit or something that everyone else will have. He'll probably be more basic, but you'll say, man, he's sharp. He's on point. Sarah, thanks for joining me. Anitra, okay. So, you know, that's their kind of mindset on that. You know, of course, he dressed to impress, and they have a definite swag about them. Anitra said, yes, I do agree. They like to work a double and dress good. Okay, you agree. He may have he may take a long time choosing a mate, but once he does, he is hard pressed to give her up. So that's going to be somebody that's going to be very particular about who this woman he wants to spend time with. And his process is going to maybe a little rigorous. And you might have to go through something to make that your king. Uh, so, be prepared. If you don't have the patience for that, then you're probably not, that's not the man for you. He doesn't like to be around a lot of people. So, big crowds and, going out to clubs and stuff like that, that's not going to be his thing. So, if that's still your lifestyle and still what you want to do, he's not, he's not going to really mess with you. And let's understand this, people, before we go on. This is not absolutes. So it does not mean that it's that everyone follows under these characteristics. Because I already had somebody commented on the Instagram thing that on my Instagram post saying, well, you should let people know that that it's not for everyone. Excuse my language, and y'all know I'm on the cuss. No shit. Who would think that any of this means, okay, I'm a Capricorn, and everything that David C2 or whatever you want to call me, everything he's saying pertains to me? No, of course not. Of course there's always exceptions. So if that's your response, come with something else. That just doesn't. I think that irritates me because we already know that this is not absolutes and it doesn't pertain to 100%. It may not. It may only be 40 or 50%, but who knows? Stephen Williams, thanks for joining. JC Wright, my good brother from North Ave, thanks for joining me in the Counselor's Corner. So again, he may take his time to find that special one. He doesn't like to be around a lot of people because people are not who they pretend to be. Said my broadcast keeps breaking up. I apologize for that. You know how that is. Some things you just don't. When I'm down in the Counselor's Corner, I'm like down in the cut in the basement. So, I try to do the best I can with as far as the technology. So just bear with me. Or maybe I'm just moving too much. Some things like that I can't control, but I'm trying, doing the best that I can. He may take a long time. I already said that. He doesn't like to be around a lot of people, he said, because people are not who they pretend to be. So he has the perception that most people are maybe somewhat phony or they pretend to be something that they're not. So if that's the case, he definitely, that crowd of people, that's a turnoff for him because he's probably sitting back looking like, look at all these fake ass people, or doesn't really want to engage in too much conversation with them because he knows that they're pretending, they're out there flossing, denzelling, or whatever you want to call it, but they're not being who they really are. One thing you don't want to do is you don't want to roll up at his gate, at his house, unannounced. That's not his thing either, and I never got that either. I never got that either, that people just stop by your house or they see your car in the driveway or in front of your house. Nah, you just common courtesy. Give somebody a phone call or a text message and get that approval. So that's probably a pet peeve of his. So if you don't live with them, don't just come showing up at his house. Better make sure you make some contact. Now, some people might say, oh, it's a surprise. They might like stuff like that. They may like a surprise. So know that if you start dating one or you just started dating one, that may be something. Not guaranteed, but that could be something that you want to consider. Typically, Capricorns are great problem solvers, and they don't hold their tongue. So if it's something that they don't think is right, they're gonna say it. It may hurt your feelings and all, but that's just something that they're gonna do. They're not gonna bite their tongue. And don't expect him to be helpful when he's in or in a bad mood. I guess that's probably they're gonna shut down, or they're just not gonna be the most helpful person that you think. So if you know that he's in a bad mood, don't expect too much assistance. But when he's sad or not in a good mood, he's not necessarily going to take it out on anyone. So, some people could be in a bad mood, but they're just in a bad mood, and they're in a bad mood, but they're not doing they're not going to do anything or just go lash out at people. That's, not his style either. He wants a woman that will allow him to be vulnerable. And, sometimes we live in a day and age that women, because they make comments such as there's too many, excuse my language, bitch ass men around here in this day and age, that they have to hold everything down like they're wearing the pants, like they're the men. So and they may make comments that when guys want to be vulnerable, and make comments as if they're weak or whatever. So he wants a woman that's going to understand. There's going to be times that he may be vulnerable. He may just need a shoulder to lean on, someone to show that they care and say, it's okay, you can open up, you can be vulnerable with me, you can share with me. And he's looking for that type of woman. Regina Baker, thanks for joining me in the Counselor's Corner. And being with him, you will not go into the poorhouse. So understand that. Hey, Holly Porter, thanks for joining me in the Counselor's Corner as well. So understand, you're not going to the poorhouse with him, because he's going to be on point with his money. Again, remember, I'm not going to say stingy, whatever. He's mindful of what he does, and he's mindful to the point that he's going to think about his financial security. At the end of the day, that's important to him, that financial security. So keep that in mind. So you don't have to worry about like, oh, y'all don't have it, or y'all not going to be able to do this, because you're going to be good. You're going to be good with him, because he's going to always make sure and knows how to save a buck or stretch one. Dating a Capricorn. First of all, well, obviously you never know the sign of someone unless you already know them. So I guess when you get to know them, these are some of the things that you may consider. Be yourself, but be your best classy self. See, because sometimes people get it twisted what being classy is. Sometimes people get caught up in too much. We used to say, when I used to always say this, and me and my homeboys when we were younger, like, you got too much BET in you, just way too much BET, way too much breakdancing in you, that too much hip hop-ish, and I had shows on this before about women just thinking they're cooler than what they are, and they come up with excuses that, oh, I had all brothers and all that stuff. Nah, you can't come, y'all involved, and you're slapping up and giving guys pounds that whatever, that's not going to be a good look for him. He's not going to care for that. He said, so be yourself, but be classy about it. So think about that. And meaning, when y'all step out, he don't want to see you in loafers or anything. He want to see you in some sexy heels and a nice form-fitting dress. So if you say, I ain't about to do all that, I'm getting too old to wear heels or whatever, then, and remember, this isn't for everyone, but just say hypothetically, if this Capricorn kind of fits in most of these characteristics, then if you can't bend on that, then y'all probably are not gonna work out. He craves security, like I said, mainly financial. He may date a woman who is bad with money, but don't expect him to marry. If you're bad with your money, You may just do that. Y'all may date, and it will probably go no further because he's not going to change up he doesn't want to be with anyone that his lifestyle is going to change because he has to get you out of a hole all of a sudden. Blue Diamond, thanks for joining me in the counselor's corner. So that's one thing. His lifestyle is key, and he's not going to bend on that. So if you are bad with money and you want to be with him, you better get some a rope course or something from him to make sure that you can be aligned with his values and beliefs. And if you have a shady past, he prefer you to keep it to yourself. He doesn't really want to know about it. So, and I know we all have a past, but if yours is really shady, then you're probably just better off keeping it to yourself instead of talking about that you want to change, you're working to change. Just keep it to yourself. He likes to talk current events and politics. So you got to actually know what you're talking about in conversation. And that may be boring to you. Someone talking about current events and politics. Well, we know politics is all bull crap. But you have to be able to talk that bull crap. So understand that. He is an artsy type guy. You know, he would prefer to go to like a theater, a dance, plays or concerts, maybe museums. That's his type of thing. Because remember, he really doesn't like large crowds. So he's more of a low-key type of guy. If you know how to cook, then whip him up something. He'll appreciate that. Show your skills. You might get some gold stars for that one if you know how to cook and you got a good skill set. Hey, Ebony Swanson, thanks for joining me in the counselor's corner. But if he decides to go to the next level, you must be considered the cream of the crop. So if it gets serious and you think, and he's showing signs that he wants to go to the next level, you pretty much passed this test. You may be that one. So congratulations to you. Sexually, he's big on foreplay. Plenty of talk. That brother likes to talk. He likes to be the initiator, so he's going to come on strong. So if you want to play those games of, you're moving too fast, let's just take it nice and slow. I want everything to be perfect and we be in perfect harmony. He's going to go for his if he's ready. He wants to know what works and doesn't work. So he likes to talk. He's a communicator. He wants to know he's fulfilling you and taking care of you. So that's big on him. Set the stage with candles, soft lighting, sexy music. Throw on some of that silky feminine lingerie. Not that stuff with crouchless panties and things like that. That's not his thing. He doesn't want to see all that. He prefers the more classy approach to being sexy. Linda Bailey, thanks for joining me in the counselor's corner tonight. What else? He also, most men do, likes his ego stroke. He wants to be told like he's the man or what he's doing well. And remember, I said that earlier. So, I don't know. Sometimes you just got to fake it till you make it or whatever the case is. But that's something that he likes. He loves to masturbate. So, hey, he might say, hey, let's talk. If y'all can't see each other, he may want to have that conversation or whatever the case is, or he may want to do that in front of you or whatever the case is. Randy Smith, what's going on, bro? Thanks for joining me in the counselor's corner. And what else? The Capricorn is a nice guy who wants lots of sex, and he wants a woman who is willing to give it to him. So understand that brother likes to have sex. And he wants a woman that's going to give it to him and not someone that's going to play around or have a time constraint of, oh, I only do it like once a week or whatever the case is, or we can do it on Wednesdays because Thursdays I have a short day at work, so it's not going to zap all the energy out of me. Nah, that brother wants to get his in. So, breaking up. Because we all know that sometimes things don't work out, and sometimes you have to go certain ways to break up with someone or do stuff to basically purposely annoy them. Hey Anitra, how you doing? Thanks for joining me tonight. So if you're trying to break up, one of the very first things you could do with him, start complaining about him not spending, he works too much and spends too much time at work instead of being with you. That will irritate the hell out of him. Because remember, he's about financial security. And the only way that he's going to secure those finances is by working. So if you're one that's talking like you work too much, you do not have to stay at work this late, or why do you have to go in on the weekends? Could I have you all to myself? Man. What's going on, Randy, man? Nothing, you know me. Just stirring the pot, getting amped up, talking about these Zodiac signs. I guess it's for ladies, surviving your man's Zodiac sign. But get ready to watch this boxing match. You know what we do. So I'm getting pumped up, so I'm just here to kind of entertain. But actually, this is some good information because me personally, I would read horoscopes when I was younger from time to time and see what they say, but I never really dove right into it. So actually to read this book, I'm like, interesting. And I know, like, for me as a Gemini, I was like, wow, like some of the stuff was on point. I ain't gonna tell y'all when we get to that which one it is, but hey, you just have to figure that out. So again, if you're trying to break up, tell that man to stop spend more time with you and not to and maybe take some time off work. That that's gonna annoy him. Renasia, Ranjay, thanks for joining me in the counselor's corner. All right, change up the way you dress and start wearing baggy sweats and stuff. Because remember, he likes a classy woman. He likes those form-fitting clothes. I'm not saying that probably has to be a dress all the time, but it probably should be some nice form-fitting dress pants, form-fitting jeans, some baggy sweats and all that stuff. Talking about you need to be comfortable. And say, for example, if y'all said, oh, we're going to run out to the mall or whatever, or take a walk in the park or whatever the case is, you better have on something that's showing your dimensions or looking classy or whatever. I mean, I guess a walk in the park, whatever, you would probably maybe have on some shorts or so if y'all going to work out or whatever the case is. But you're not going to have on no flimsy looking stuff. You're not going to have on no big basketball shorts with N1 down the side. You're probably going to have on some nice little soccer shorts or whatever the case is. So just think about it. Hey, Donna, how you doing? Thanks for joining me tonight. And another thing you could do to piss him off, complain about that he's a mama's boy. That's a sure way to get him going. And invite some of your family members over that he doesn't like. Because remember, he's like a low-key guy. So he comes home for work, if y'all were living together, or whatever the case is, and you know he don't like certain family members, your cousin, your sister, and he walks into that, oh, you might have hell to pay. So that's a sure way to say, man, you're about to be on your way out. And if you're messy, you're going to be eventually out the door. So that's, his thing is structure, security, mainly financial security. So that's how that brother rolls. So that's the Capricorn. So does anybody have anything they agree, disagree with, or whatever the case? Remember, like I always say, these are not absolute. So it's a lot of wiggle room in it. But that was just something that I had picked up from the book Sensual Astrology for the African American woman. Everything you need to know about your man through his sun sign by S.R. Covington. Who is this? Maria, Miss Boss Lady Richardson. Thanks for joining me in the Counselor's Corner. So now let's take a look at the Aquarius. Where are we at for time? Because I said it was from 8 to 9. I'm going to honor that too. Aquarius. He's an inventor. Always looking to create something new and different. You said you agree with some of them. Well, Anitra, tell me what you don't agree with and let us know. And I'm going to keep going on while you type that in. And just think, in a few more days, maybe a week or so, we're going to have a call-in feature here. So I will have a number and some lines that I'll open up to, and you'll be able to call. So I would encourage you, when I'm in the Counselor's Corner, pull out your computers, your tablets, go on, so you can have your phone to call in, and I'll have it on speaker, and people will be able to hear our conversation. So instead of all this, cuts back on the typing, or if you have questions, you don't have to type. You can just call in. I think that's going to be a nice feature. Farley Hamilton, what's going on, brother? Thanks for joining me. And LaShawn Williams, thanks for joining me tonight. So now we're talking about the Aquarius man. So he likes to create something new and different. So that brother's free spirit. That's his thing. He's like an inventor. He likes to sit back, probably wheels are spinning, and always thinking of something, how to make the world better, or how he can create something to benefit others. He's always thinking outside the box. He loves to help the less fortunate. His life mission is to use his passion, like I said, to create opportunities for everyone. So that's what that's what he's thinking about. He's always thinking about something, how to make the world a better place, or the community, and that's just what he feels like he was put on earth for. He is a risk taker. Many people may feel like they don't know him well because he may not open up to you immediately. So, you may have known him for years, but you may really not have known him because he really may have not given you too much of his personal. So, and he doesn't care if you look at him as being eccentric or weird. That doesn't bother him. He's okay with being uncommon and doing things differently than most. A lot of people may accuse him of being cold and distant when they first meet him. But what I'd say about him is the opposite sex adores him. Even though they may not understand him, they might not understand everything he does, but I guess they may look at something about that passion that kind of gravitates towards him, and they adore him. Prophetess Alicia Tucker, thanks for joining me tonight in the Counselor's Corner. So he doesn't care if he's seen as, like I said, weird or eccentric. He has little respect for people who have to stick to the status quo. So he likes being around people that kind of like to shake up the world, who are willing to take risks. He may be someone to say, let's, the type of, how you sit around and you see those people that be traveling across country with their backpacks on and say they've walked from another state or something, or mountain climbing, or going through trails. That may be his form of, doing something different. So he's all about taking those type of risks. And he has little respect for people who just, traditional, do everything by the books. That's not his thing. Would he be considered marriage material? Well, I guess if you're a risk taker and both have passion to shake up the world, then I guess, yes, he would be marriage material. Now, keep in mind, compared to the Capricorn, now with the Aquarius, man, things could probably get sketchy because he's so free spirit. But with the Capricorn, he's all about security. So if that's your thing too, and you're like, man, I want to be secure, then that Capricorn man is looking real good. But if you about you need something that motivates you or kind of get, to have your fire lit, that Aquarius man is someone that's going to kind of intrigue you and keep you going. So, to each his own. But good question, Anitra. Uh, he doesn't waste time with superficial people either. So you being superficial, fake, and unless that's you're not his cup of tea. He's the type to give everything in their relationship. So he's going to be passionate. He's going to put everything into it. But if you're the type that thinks, I'm not, that little idea you got going is a little too far-fetched. You could be spending your time doing something else, then I don't know if things are going to go your way. As far as dating, he likes a woman that could be an individual. He wants you to stand out. He wants you to be different. He wants to notice something different about you compared to the rest. If you're with a group of women and he's out, if you're the one that stand out because of what you're wearing and any other thing, or just the way that you probably conduct yourself, and the rest of your friends is loud and rude or just silly, and you're that low-key one, you're going to be the one that catches his eye. He likes a woman, like I said, to take risks. Safe is boring to him. He likes a woman who are passionate and fearless about their desires and dreams. So he doesn't want someone who sits around and say, well, I always wanted to do this, but I didn't do it because I was a little worried that it was going to, break me, or I was going to end up being messed up financially. So therefore, I never did it, but it's something that you really wanted to do and something that you always talk about. So he likes that woman that, hey, if you're breathing and you're capable of doing it, then he feels that you should go out and try to accomplish it. He is not the movie and dinner type. He prefers, again, so I don't know, these Capricorns, Aquarius, that movie and dinner thing. So that's the first two signs. That's dead. But that'll be the first thing women say, oh, let's get your movie and dinner. Greedy asses. But, excuse me, I didn't mean, that was a Freudian slip. I didn't mean for that to come out. I was kind of talking to myself. But he likes, of course, a museum and different things like that, something adventurous is going to be his thing. He's the type that'll probably say, even though y'all 40 or 50, let's go to an amusement park and let's get on that biggest roller coaster with the highest drop, steepest drop, and let's do that. And you probably like, ain't no way in hell, but that may be something that he may do. He prefers food from different cultures. So he likes to try different foods. And if y'all were dating, and then if it was your turn to treat and he said surprise me, that may be what he's looking for. He may not be looking for a big sloppy greasy hamburger or something like that, or pizza and chicken wings or something. He might want something from a different culture. He likes to be free to roam the world. Like, he probably doesn't like that 9 to 5 probably isn't his thing. Although many people may have to start off doing that, but hey, if he got his money right doing that and it was time for him to do something on his own, trust me, that brother probably would do it in a heartbeat. Now, sexually, he is the master of making love to the point you feel reborn. So remember, he's passionate. He's going to put in work, and he's going to, it's like you're going to have a whole nother experience, I guess, when you with him. He explores all parts of the body. He takes his time despite how bad you want it. So you may be wanting it, but he's going to take his time, because remember, he's going to explore. He's passionate. He wants to try to find every little thing that makes you tick. And he's going to try, and he's going to try to understand your body. Libra Taylor, how you doing, Libra? Thanks for joining me in the Counselor's Corner. Yeah, I was talking out loud on that one, Anitra. He likes to try different positions. It's not just that missionary, old traditional type person. He's going, hell, he might tell you to do a handstand or something like that, or whatever the case. Make you get flexible. Make you go to the gym because he wants you to try this or that, or wrap you up like a pretzel or something. He is down for a threesome because he has the stamina to please any two women. So that's that brother fires that. So if that appeals to you, I don't know, ladies. It's a lot of work. So breaking up with Aquarius. Well, I guess anytime you put restrictions on your relationships that was not there before, that's going to be an issue for him. Because remember, he likes to freelance. He likes to freelance. He likes to be a risk taker. So you're not going to put no restrictions on something that, say for example, y'all live separately and he has a key to your spot. You can't tell him at first giving him the key that, and when he was coming in at 1 in the morning or 2 that, if you're going to come through these doors, you need to be in here before 10 or my double bolt lock is going to be put up. Nah, that ain't going to work. What else? Put restrictions. Tell him you don't like his, and don't tell him you don't like his annual retreat with his homeboys. That needs to stop. That's real childish. How long y'all got to keep that going? If that's something that he's been doing and he's been doing it, don't try to intervene with that. And don't complain about his family members that he support. We all might have family members that no matter what, you got their back and you're going to support whatever they do. If you start talking bad and say, oh, that's stupid, what did your brother came up with another stupid idea, or whatever the case is, you're gonna be on outs with him. Tell him you are ready to start. And another thing, tell him you're ready to start a family and it's time for him to get a stable job. That probably won't work either, because remember, he probably, he's a freelancer. So the idea of maybe knocking you up and starting a family and he has to get a job with insurance and all that stuff. And I'm not saying that Aquariuses don't have that, but we're just looking like the typical one. If he met this profile, this is the way he would be. Kim Pay, thanks for joining me in the Counselor's Corner, and thanks Nicole for joining me. So that was the Capricorn and the Aquarius. Now we're going to get to the big daddy. The big daddy of them all, the Gemini. Like I said, I'm a Gemini, so this one was near and dear to me. To the point that I couldn't even put notes. I said I had to get this straight out of the book. The Gemini is one of the hardest signs to figure out. He is often accused of being two separate people, but it's not his fault. Yeah, it is two separate people, because I can tell you that one for sure, because you have David, then you have the controversial counselor. See, the controversial, David may watch what he says, may be a little reserved, but the controversial counselor, when I'm in that zone, he don't give a damn. He don't give a damn who you are either. So that's just how that goes. Gemini's mood change like the blink of an eye. All right, Libra, you're a Gemini, so you might be feeling some of this. Now, hear me tight, but we're talking about men, but women may have the same type of thing going on as well as far as that. Mood changes like the blink of an eye. He is moody, intense, and fiery. But he's also fun, outgoing, and charming. Moody, intense, and fiery. Yep. That's all I'm going to say. I agree. He's also fun, outgoing, and charming. Now, for me, I'm not that outgoing unless you get to know me. And once you get to know me, there's a difference. But at first, it might take a while. I'll give you a prime example of that. When I first moved to Baltimore, I worked at a high school. And I was at that high school for 6 years. And probably the first, and this is a long time, so it's kind of weird to think I went that long, but that's just the way I was. I was out of my element, came, relocated. So probably the first 2, 3, maybe 4 years, I was, kind of quiet. I would, with my coworkers in the counseling department, I had 2 secretaries, 2 other counselors. We would have like our little Thanksgiving lunch and dinners and little like lunch and stuff, and just try to have camaraderie between us. But I was like kind of quiet, be in my office. But then when I started loosening up, my one secretary was like, "Man, David, I did not know you was this funny or this silly. Why did you keep that away from us all this time? Why did you not show us this side?" But I didn't put myself out there for them to see it. So it takes me a while. I like to observe and see what I'm dealing with before I give you that aspect. When will you speak on the Pisces brothers? I'm going to speak on that. If not tomorrow, it'll be Monday. It'll be Pisces. Then what's after that? Pisces, is it Aries, and then Taurus. So it'll be those 3. So make sure you tune in for that. Karen Stubblefield, thanks for joining me in the Counselor's Corner. So we're talking about Geminis right now. So remember, I say he's fun, outgoing, and charming. And like I was saying, I didn't give my coworkers that part of me. Yet it took a while for me to open up to do that outgoing piece. Dorinda, thanks for joining me. And they said on here he's extremely popular and a must-invite party guest. Don't know about that. I mean, people I know, I guess it would be fun. We'll have a good time because I've usually cracked jokes or whatever like that. But I can't say for like if I was just like going to a party with someone and I didn't know anybody, I probably would be quiet as hell. The Gemini man is easily one of the most fascinating, smooth men that you'll ever come across, and he knows it. Yes, indeed, that is the truth. I don't even know anything that could be more truer than that statement. To the point, I need to say that again. The Gemini man is easily one of the most fascinating, smooth men you will ever come across, and he knows it. Say I'm lying when I'm not about that statement. A lot of Gemini people go into acting, music, or politics. The Gemini believes it is his duty to educate the masses about all past and current events. See, I like to talk to the masses, or right now, what I'm doing right now, taking risks, because before people like, I never would thought that you would get on in front of a camera and do this, but it's all about growing and being, making yourself feel uncomfortable with situations to grow. Far as current events, some current events, depending on what it is, but definitely politics, I'm not really getting into all that because this stuff right now is a damn mess. I mean, I'll touch on pieces of it, but that's not my thing. This is one of the things too. Secretly, a Gemini is deeply insecure and uses his loud voice and outgoing attitude to distract people from his own internal doubts about him and his self-worth. I could see some of that. I could see some of it. I'll give him that. Libra says smoothness is correct. Yes, indeed, Libra. You already know. The Gemini is a conversation whore and likes to take over any discussion. I'm not a conversation whore. I was once told by one of my assistant principals that I work with that David, words is profound. So if he says something, listen, because he doesn't say much, but when he does, his words are profound, and that's how I am. I'm not a conversation whore. Anitra said, "You lying?" I'm lying about what? And Shakira, you said that statement is correct. The one about the Gemini being the most smoothest. Yeah, I hope that is. So let me know if that's what you're talking about. This man is like a comet, moving swiftly from one topic to another. What else? he'll become distracted by some other ideas as twice as fascinating and challenging as the last one. And I guess also it was saying that some Geminis have short attention spans. There's some truth to that. And I'm going to say, like, for me, I am the type that if I start doing something and I enjoy it, I'm going to passionately do it, and I'm going to do it on a regular basis. Like this platform and stuff right here, I enjoy it. I enjoy getting books, doing research, bringing this, deciphering it in my way, and bringing it to the masses. And if it has excitement, and I'm for it. If I get bored with it, or there's some type of wrinkle or obstacle, I probably will put it down and then be like, damn, I said I was going to do that. Because even like with me, you know, I have the book, the original book, Cocktail Conversations. And speaking of that, and now I'm about to move to another topic. If you don't have my book, it's a travesty. And if you know me, and if you tune in in the Counselor's Corner, make sure you get my book so you have a better understanding of me. $15 right now, $2, whatever. We can work something out, but just make sure you get your copy. Inbox me if you want to fulfill that commitment with Gemini brother, C2, the controversial counselor. But like I said, so to go back to that other point, that when me writing the book, the original Cocktail Conversations, then I did the revised edition, but I probably got a notebook full to put out another book, and then like a little reflection book. But that hasn't excited me to the point that I wanted to sit down and pull up, gather all the data, and then summarize it and go back through and look at some of the points. This stimulates me more to do that. So that's why that has happened. But there'll be a time that I'll go back to that and I'll say, all right, let me clear out this mic and let me spread everything out and let me start writing. That'll come, but right now it doesn't excite me. You would think that it would excite me, being that in 2017 I had got the Author on the Rise award. So usually when you get awards like that, you want to keep them coming. But I've kind of fell back. But I know that I need to get back to that level again. Denise Banks, thanks for joining me in the Counselor's Corner. So that's one of the things about the Gemini brother. He's just attracted to the challenge of having to start. Oh, let me go back to this point, because what they were saying about the Geminis also, Gemini man is great at earning a living through whatever he chooses to do. So whatever craft we choose to do, we believe that we can make money in there, to the point that sometimes we may go broke doing it, only to come back up and then maybe get broke again. And I know it don't make sense. I try not to be in that position, but I guess we're attracted to that challenge of having to start from broke again. So we like challenges like that. But as you get older, I'm not trying to go those routes. I trying to make more sense on what I do now. Geminis is current and always obsessed with having the latest bling. Not me either. I try to be basic and simple, whatever. I don't want all that standing out bling and all that stuff. That's just not my style. And it says Gemini should be high maintenance, inexpensive. Again, don't necessarily agree with that one, but that's just me. Women of all ages are taken with the twin because he has the answer to everything and comes across as Prince Charming. Yeah, I might agree with that one. I might have to agree with that. Not R. Kelly range. We don't do R. Kelly range, but grown women, they could be in their 20s and they could be in their 70s, and they may still like something about that Gemini, something about that controversial counselor. Scares, I agree with that, most definitely. Gail Price, thanks for joining me this evening. All right. They say Gemini, he's one of the most entertaining men on the planet and has an amazing sense of humor. I'm all right. Well, I only got 4 minutes left, people. I got to honor your time, so I'm going to have to whiz through some of this stuff. I know y'all probably like, David, don't leave, don't leave. But, you know, boxing is calling me. Gemini demands lots of space and freedom. So when you're dating a Gemini, know that he might want that man cave. He might want that counselor's corner. He may need that time away. And maybe that might be his twin telling him, like, yo, listen, don't call, just get away, man. Don't answer the phone for anybody or whatever. Make them leave a message saying it's an emergency. Get away. You need that time. So that could be some of it. He's not the type of brother to call and check in to make a woman feel secure. So even though you might be like, you know, your behavior's so bizarre, you were so moody, you were so mean last night, most Geminis may say, man, she'll get over it, and he's not going to call you to make sure you all right, everything okay. See, I'm a little nice, whatever. Maybe that's the counselor in me that I would call to make sure, because I like things to be all right. I don't like animosity. I don't like harboringness. I don't like that stuff. That stuff ages in you and makes you feel, you don't feel good. Donna said, you're funny. Why am I so funny, Donna? Please share with me. Marcia, you said you totally agree. Tell me about what you agree with. That's why the option of calling in on the phone, I hope y'all don't get shy, because that's coming. And not known to show, and we're not known to show up on time. Yeah, we might have a problem with that. And that may be, you know, if I told y'all something, I hope y'all won't repeat it. A lot of times, I'm always running a few minutes late for work. But like I told the assistant principal, he had said one day, because I seen him in my rearview mirror, and I'm like, oh shoot, what is he doing late? So when we walked in, we kind of met up, and then he was like, you know, he called him G Lover. He was like, G Lover. He said, I know I have to be late because I'm walking in with G Lover. I said, well, I done told you once. I done told you many times. I am not the starter. I'm the closer. So there, remember I always said, I look at everything like in sports analogies and stuff. It doesn't matter who starts the game, it's who ends it. So I'm the type, I might not be sitting up there at 6:30, but best believe if it's a bus late or it's a kid behind who parent ain't came to pick them up, I may be there. I may be in the building. Or if somebody had to come late for an appointment, a parent, and they can't get on our side of the town to 4:30 where everybody else ran out of the building at 3 o'clock, I may be the one sitting up in there. So that's just, so we all have our shortcomings and our benefits. If you're looking for a homebody to cuddle up on the couch with, then Gemini's is definitely not the one. You know, sometime. But I could tell you what. When a good, basketball, football on, I may can give or take with those, whatever, because it's such a long thing. But damn sure don't think I'm gonna cuddle with anybody when boxing, though. You might get a right cross, a left hook, and don't let Floyd be fighting, because I stand up the whole time he fights. Pretty much the whole time. So you don't want to be like, oh, I'm in the mood I just want to cuddle. It's cold. It's like 12 degrees outside. I was thinking we could cuddle. Huh? And boxing coming on? Yeah, I know I like to cuss sometimes. I might say, get the fuck out of here. Excuse my language. But that might be Geminis for that. They're not going to be that cuddly type. A Gemini could be great in crisis. He'll put out a fire, offer you shelter, and loan you money without ever complaining. Just make sure you're up for the challenge. That is the Gemini man. So, how many of y'all think y'all could handle that Gemini man? All right, it's 9:01. I still got a couple more things to do, so just bear with me. I'm sorry. I just got a little caught up on this. So, when you're looking to date a Gemini, he's looking for that person that's going to have intellectual stimulation. That's it. He likes a good conversation. It's somebody that could stimulate his mind mentally. The Gemini is turned on by your ability to argue with him. Y'all say, ain't that something? The controversial counselor likes a woman that could hold his own. And I remember I did a show, Reflections of You, and we were on a little tiki thing. And I said, I like a sassy woman. That turns me on. Sassiness turns me on. So that would, I guess that would fall in line with that. If you call this brother on the carpet about something, you better have your facts straight. You already know how my platform is. A lot of people like to call you out, whatever. Y'all know I like to bring that smoke. So you better have it. You better have your stuff together. So that's us all the way. The brother has a very short attention span and will be off on some other tangent in no time. If you argue with his beliefs while you're argue with his beliefs while you're refilling his wine glass and rubbing his shoulders with a soft feminine touch. Yeah, something about that. That kind of soothes the savage beast. So think about that as well. Geminis are spontaneous, so don't be surprised if he offers to take you on a balloon ride. Ain't no way I'm going to do that because I ain't big on heights. So I was the type with people we were younger and they were climbing cherry trees and apple trees and getting pears. I'll be like, yo, throw mines down because I ain't getting up there. That's not me. Helen Dolson, thanks for joining me tonight in the Counselor's Corner. Invite him to something fun and outgoing, such as a murder mystery play. All right, sex fires to Gemini. Sex with the Gemini man will be less about passion and more about the total experience. So it ain't about the passion, it's about the overall work. That whole entire body of work that happens. The Gemini doesn't ever want to be hurried. He does appreciate a quickie, but it's more about him having the sex exactly the way he wants it. And I guess they say, do you want your cake and eat it too? Why wouldn't it? If you're gonna give it to me, then he may feel, give it to me the way that I want it. He likes sex to be spontaneous and varied. You have to be open-minded for the twins. The Gemini craves excitement of taking everything to the next level. So you might start off one way, but certainly he's going to want to take it or want to challenge you to be able to, let's take it to the next level. Gemini's is that he can cool down as quickly as he gets hot. So Geminis, some of them could be hot and heated, but then can cool down just like that. So you got to keep that fire spark sometime. I wouldn't play any games or try to make him chase you, because he won't. If you're looking for a deep, soulful sexual experience that binds you as one, this is not the male. So basically, some Geminis not into that chase. They're not into that big chase. Remember, we got short attention spans. We got ADHD, or in some cases. So if that's what you're looking for, then you keep running, and that Gemini might let you keep running and running and running till you run into a damn dead end, and he may be in a whole nother city, not chasing you. All right, so basically, how do you break up with the Gemini? He'll also lose interest quickly if you fail to stimulate his other senses. So he likes to be stimulated, his other senses. So if all those needs are not getting met, then certainly he'll be ready to move on. Nene Renee, thanks for joining me tonight. We're about to wrap it up. Was just talking about what was the title? Surviving Your Man's Zodiac Sign. The Gemini ego would not allow him to be with a woman who isn't entirely focused on him. He needs to be the center of your universe. Sorry, people, there's no room for you to be focused on another man, or like, I kind of like you, but I'm still feeling him, so it's just going to take me some while. Nah, for a Gemini, you need to be the center. We need to be the center of your universe. Let him catch you texting someone, then act guilty. So if you trying to be slick and still trying to close things out with this last person, or have someone new getting at you and you've been told by your girlfriends, Well, you're not in a committed relationship. You still can see Melvin or whatever the case is. That might not work for a Gemini. So you got to be locked in and be. He has to be your center of the universe for that time being. So you might have to do that some other time. Respond back. So that other person might be mad as hell, like I didn't hear from you in 2 days. Where were you? They might say she was with a Gemini. She couldn't. She couldn't. It was all about. It was all about that Gemini for that particular time. Geminis are not known for second chances. So you cross us, we don't do. We may not go. We don't do the back and forth. We don't do that. It may be done. Women love him, and he knows it. So don't expect him to care too much that you're gone. So his mentality might be easy come, easy go. I ain't gonna say the rest of the part because it's rude. But that's maybe because he knows that women gravitate toward him, and he knows that women. He's adored by women. Remember, for multiple ages, grown women to in their 70s. So he has a huge variety of people at his hands. So if you want to depart out of his life, brush your shoulders off, no big deal, and he'll just move on forward. With that said, stay tuned for the next episode, part 2 of Surviving Your Man's Zodiac Sign. So feel free throughout the evening to chime in. I'll probably be sharing some of it to other. I might tag you guys on your page so people could see it and they respond back. But stay tuned for maybe tomorrow. It'll be the Pisces, Aries, and Taurus coming up. So with that said, about to get out of here. Enjoy this fight. See what my man Adrian Bronner, AB, about them billions gonna do against Pacquiao. And hey, stay focused. And then tomorrow those great football games. Man, this is a Gemini's dream right here. I'm living a dream with all this good sports on. And I'm down in my counselor's corner. Man, what else is better? Unless somebody was rubbing my head after he's pouring my glass of, I don't know, Jack and ginger, maybe some crown apple and cranberry, but it's all good. All right, enough of that. So I'm gonna check y'all out tomorrow. Again, feel free to keep the thread going by responding, and I want to thank everybody for joining, and have a good night because we're gonna have some fun with this series. Part 2 coming up soon. Thanks, and everybody have a good night. Peace.